Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. The new brush cutter has arrived, so let's get this thing unboxed and give it a review. The review may have to wait till tomorrow because it just started drizzling out there. But at the very least, we can get this unboxed, get it set up, get it gassed up, and I want to compare this to the 223R. This is the 129R. I have no idea what the numbers designate because I believe this is almost the exact same model. The 223R was discontinued, and now the numbering goes 129R, and then I believe it's 339, but that's a big commercial one. And then there's 525, which is roughly the same size, or probably exactly the same size, but that one has a solid shaft. Okay, enough talk. Let's get this thing opened up. Alright, got a little dent in the box, but doesn't look like there's any damage. There is no seam along the sides, so this thing comes out the end. Yeah, definitely looks different than the 223R. And I'll show you these side by side in a little while. There we go. Guard. Okay, not sure what this is. Let me look at this. Husqvarna app. Stay connected to your outdoor power equipment. Huh, we'll have to go over that later. That sounds bizarre. Okay. Assembly instructions. Alright, not much to it. Grass blade. I haven't used these before much, but I'm thinking of doing it with this. Okay, don't know what that is. Adjustment wrench. Oh, lots of little parts. This is the bump for the blade, for either this blade or like a circular saw blade. And I'm gonna go check and see if this stuff is the same size as the 223R, which I believe it is. And if that's so, I already have a bunch of stuff for this. For some reason, everything looks a little smaller, and that very well may be. This, I'll just hang up somewhere. I have a deluxe harness that works way better than this. I think that's it. Let's try emptying this out. I'm going to keep all this packaging just in case I have to send this back. Yeah, that's interesting. Don't know what that is. Oh, I think it's a blade guard. I think it's a blade guard for that grass cutter. All right. Let's get this thing together. Got a long Allen wrench. I think these are for holding, oh, maybe not. Oh, that's for holding the cable to the shaft. This is for stopping the cutter from rotating, so you can tighten the blade. Arbor nut. And 5 screws. Well, actually, these 2 are screws. These are kind of screw bolts that look like they go through plastic, and this is a bolt. All right, let's see where this stuff goes. Okay. Supposed to put the handlebars on. Like this. With that, I believe. And I'm gonna guess it's these 2 here. All right, that was a T25 Torx. I'll leave it a little loose for now. Have to get this installed. This has a trapped nut right there, and that pin goes through this pinhole here. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, it shows that in the instructions. When in doubt, read the instructions. That does not seem right. This cord seems like it's too short. Maybe I just don't have this oriented right. Got things a little bass-ackwards here. I was trying to go by their drawing, but yeah, that's right. The drawing's right. My head is backwards. Alright, when you're operating it with the motor on your right side, it seems like this handle is backwards, but this is how it's got to go. Okay, so okay, back to the instructions. Now we have this cord holder here. That just goes right here. So this little rounded part goes on the bottom. Then that goes here. Oh, and then this is your hook for your harness. Yeah, this is definitely lower quality than my other trimmer. It appears to be much lower. I don't know if they just lowered the quality in general, or if it's, you know, because this is a 129 and the other one was a 223. I don't know what the deal is, but this is definitely cheesier. This brush cutter was $300, and I believe the 223 was $400. But it's been a while. May have to adjust that. All right, what else do we got here? The guard, and then the blade's already on it. I'm not going to be putting that blade on for the test. So the guard just takes that one last bolt, and then we got all these extra pieces. I'll take this out and we'll compare the two in just a little while. I believe this is an extra clip. It doesn't show this on here that I know of. Let me see. Oh, maybe that's it right there. But it doesn't look like I have enough. It shows it like clipped right here, but this is definitely not long enough for that. I'll save that, but they show this cord going along here and this clip holding it like that. They show the cable going through here and then through here, but this is way too short for that. I guess you would have to move the handlebar up. It looks like you can adjust it from the other side here. We'll see how it fits. I'll put the harness on and test out the fit and do any adjustment I need. And then I'll fill it up with gas and we'll give it a try. Okay, here is the side-by-side comparison. This is the new 129R and this is the old 223R. This has been discontinued. When I opened the box and pulled this out, I was thinking, boy, they really cheapened up on the parts. Everything seems a little bit smaller, but the shaft is the same size, the handlebars are the same size, the guard's the same size, the trimmer head. Basically everything is the same size. The motor is just newer and it's a different configuration, but that's roughly the same size as well. I think the gas tank is smaller though. Let's see. Yeah, the gas tank looks tiny. On this one, I don't know. What I'm going to do is dig up the specs for this one, and I'll put the specs for both of these side to side on screen, and we'll see what the differences are. You can see this cable right here. On this one, it appears to be much longer, but I think I need to pull this back. It's kind of hard to tell, but looks like we got a shorter distance right here. I had thought that they cheapened out on this right here, but this really sucks. This constantly slips. You can never get this tight. And when you're cutting trees and stuff, that is a real pain in the butt. So that's probably a much better design to start with. So we'll see. I'm going to measure the distance between the motor and the handlebars and adjust these to the same distance and see how this clip works in. Maybe I can get the clip on then. And then this right here, this is where you hook on with your harness. I had thought they cheapened out with that as well, and maybe they did. This appears to be hard plastic, and I think this is metal. This is definitely better than this, I would say. Well, at least I think so right now. Okay, let me pull that back a little bit and we'll see if this cable hooks on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I grabbed the tape measure and I measured from the motor to the center of the handlebars, and it's the same on both. And this handlebar appears to be at an angle a little bit. I don't know, yeah, this one does too, so that's the same. I know the handlebars are very different. Oh, actually, I have that wrong. There's a little flat right here. This flat needs to be under here. That's the problem. All right, let me fix that. Okay, that's a lot better. All right, so that was not a problem. It appears as though this is an upgrade from this. This really sucks. Every time I use this, I wish this was better. You could keep trying to tighten it, but it's at its limit and it still moves like that. And when you're cutting a tree or something like that, it's really annoying. Another thing I noticed is that the handles on this old 223R are just hard plastic. And it appears to be the same plastic down here, but these have that like soft rubber coating on them. They are much nicer in the hand. And this has like a stop so it can't slip out of your hand. That appears to be an upgrade. The basic handle here, though, appears to be the same from here to here. It doesn't appear as though anything else has changed on the handle. And like I said, the shaft is pretty much the same. This nose piece here, I'm not sure what this is called, but I had problems with missing screws and the whole head fell off of this one at one point. That's going to be part of my yearly maintenance. Go over and check all the screws, because a few of the screws fell out completely and the whole head was falling back. This is kind of a cheesy setup right here. This appears to be a lot better, and it's nicer having this down at the bottom than at the top. So if you were to ask me, I think all they did was replace the 223 with the 129. It appears to be a replacement. I showed you the specs earlier, but I haven't seen those yet. But if you were to ask me, I would say that this is just the newer version of this. It looks really nice too. So what I'm going to do is do a little work on this, change the plugs, try to get this running okay, and use this as a backup. And this will be my new brush whacker. Okay, the overall impression so far is that this is a better unit than this was. We'll see once we start cutting with it, but I'm really liking this so far, especially that mount for the handlebars. This is really nice and tight, and this has always been a problem. So as soon as it stops drizzling, we'll get out and test this. All right. Found another issue. Well, I'm not 100% sure that it's an issue yet. This gas tank is a little over 11 ounces, and I believe this one is 17 ounces. I was just looking at the stats, and this one definitely looks a good deal bigger than this. This is tiny. It goes across under the engine, but the specs say it's 11 point something ounces. So it's a good deal smaller than the one on there. And that was always an issue. I can, like if I'm trimming along the side of the road, I'll have to go back and refill it. So that could be an issue, but this might be easier on gas than the last one. All right, let's get her filled up and give her a shot. Alright, get this thing primed. That should do it. Choke up. Alright, now I'm going to move it away from here. I got a little bit of gas on the sawhorses, and we'll attempt to start it. Alright, it appears to run just fine. I'm going to see if there's any special break-in instructions, and if not, we'll go trimming. Alright, there are no break-in instructions, so I'll just take it easy on it this first run. We'll just get a couple of the trees up there, get the grass at the base of the trees trimmed, and that'll probably be it for this first run. That should be good enough for a review. This thing comes with a harness, but I bought this deluxe harness when I got the other trimmer, the 223, and this is fantastic. Once you get it dialed in, get it adjusted and everything, it is so comfortable, you can hardly tell that the trimmer is there. So I would really recommend the Husqvarna Deluxe harness like this. And one more thing before we get trimming, this Husqvarna Connect, you just scan the QR code right here and it registers you for the product. I don't know what good that'll do you, but you can go online real easy and find out what plugs to get and replacement parts and that stuff. So if you use your phone a lot, which I don't really, that'll help. I just keep this stuff. I'll put this in a bag and it tells you all the stuff in there. Also, before I forget, the tool that they give you, it has a T25 screwdriver on the end, so you can adjust this or this out in the field if you have this with you. One end of this is for the nut on here to replace that. This one just screws on, but the blade, the grass blade or a saw blade, has a nut. One end of this fits on that, and the other end fits on the spark plug. So don't throw this away, you really need it. Alright, let's get cutting. Okay, that's it for the test. It cuts exactly the same as the 223R, and all of these are going to cut the same. The only thing that's going to make it cut different is a bigger string, and I believe you have to go up to a bigger model for that. But I believe this size is perfect for a small homestead like this. The 126R appears to be a good deal quieter than the 223R, and I don't know if that's because the 223 is 4 years old. I bought that almost exactly 4 years ago. I think I bought it on April 26th in 2017. So I bought that before I even had a YouTube channel, and I beat the living snot out of it. I've told this story before, but I've cut thousands of trees with that thing. I cut all the little trees in this area, all the little trees in the North Prairie. I cut the entire far side of the property down with it, and almost all of that stuff over there, everything it could handle, and it's still running. So that's pretty bizarre. It does need a tune-up, which is why I got this. Well, it might need more than that, but I'll get it running again. As far as I can tell, this is a direct replacement for the 223R. I was told by the dealer that the 525 has a solid shaft, and should you hit something immovable, it'll break these pins on either end. So it's much better. But I've used this to cut, like I said, damn near everything, and the flex shaft is still just fine on that one, and I believe it's going to be just fine on this one. So if you have a property about this size with a bunch of roads and stuff, we have maybe a half a mile, maybe even more than that, maybe 3/4 of a mile of roads going through here that I have to trim here and there, and I have to trim the road over here along the main road here. I do a ton of trimming every year, as well as taking down all the sucker trees in the restoration project back here. So I do a massive amount of work with this. Well, not yet with this one, but I did with the 223. So my impressions of it, it is an awesome brush cutter. If you have a larger property, you don't want to just get a weed whacker. You want to get a brush cutter, something with handlebars like this, and something that'll take a blade. So this will take the string like that. It'll take a grass cutter that it comes with as well. I haven't used that yet, but I will be using that a good deal now that some of the prairie grasses are growing up. That'll be the perfect thing for cutting that. And then the saw blade, which you have to get yourself, that is perfect for cutting trees. I cut them up to like 4 inches. I just walk around them and cut them. I think they say 2 inches, maybe 3, but they'll cut a pretty big tree if you walk around it. So you can basically do the vast majority of your cleanup work with this tool, and with little sapling trees and stuff, you don't even have to bend over. You can just put the blade on it and cut it off right at the base. So other than the size of the gas tank, this thing is almost empty after that little bit of trimming. Other than that, this is a wonderful tool. I really like it. And it looks like everything they did with it was an improvement, except for that gas tank. So I'll be putting the saw blade on this and cutting a whole bunch of trees right back here in the Oak Savanna project. So if you want to see that, and I'll be testing out the grass blade as well in the near future. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.